biodiversity in the world. What about Indonesia's role in preserving global ocean sustainability? Let's find out more on today's VOI Talk with Bapak Hendra Yusran Siry as the expert staff of Ecology and Ocean of the Indonesian Ministry of Marine and Fisheries on today's VOI Talk. Good morning, Pak Hendra. How are you today?
Good morning, Bu. Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. Thank you so much for joining us on VOI Talk. And as I told our listeners before, today we're talking about Indonesia's role in preserving global ocean sustainability, especially after our ocean conferences that was hosted by Indonesia itself in 2018. Could you elaborate more about Indonesia's role?
Right. Thank you. First of all, thanks for Voice of Indonesia to invite me for this important event and the Barbaya. I hope my voice is okay. Just get notification that I got unstable networking. Anyway, I like to continue that. So yes, it was in 2020 and 2018. We host our ocean conference. It is like the first that it was in October, and our ocean conference is like a kind of like register our commitment and so forth. So this is a kind of like how to show that all the stakeholders, just like government, non-government organizations or communities, community organization as well, to raise the commitment for the oceans. And I guess, and compared to the list and then listen from what has been done in Busan last month this month regarding the ocean conference, there are some commitment. It is already increased in numbers and also in terms of the amounts of the money for the commitment of the oceans. So. I think for Indonesia, the roles after the ocean conference, we consist and then we commit to many kind of like measure for marine resources and also ocean governance. So I can give some, for example, for the MPA, for example, we have already commit for 30% by 2045. It will be like 97.5 million hectares in 2045. And so far we have already achieved that like to 29.9 million hectares. So it is still big job. And then we all have already shifting our the way we fisheries, our managing our fisheries from input control to the output control. So this is a kind of like our roles and after ocean conference, and we also commit and for the how mainstreaming the oceans into the climate change. But in fact, we are also part of the high ambition for the coalition, the high ambition coalition for ocean and climate dialogue, and we also active in kind of like how to mainstream the roles of the ocean in the climate change. And so far, we have already, our ocean in our national determined contribution. This is really good documents. I hope with the sum, for example, this is to show that our role after the ocean conference. Actually, is the timeline is not only 2009, but it was before that. We also conduct like in 2009. The Coral Reef Triangle Summit and already produced what we call this Coral Triangle Initiative for Coral Reef Fisheries and Food Security, and we established the secretariat in Manado, Indonesia. I hope this is kind of like example the way how our effort to contribute significantly to the regional and global process of sustainable oceans. Thank you.
Yeah, so actually long way before 2018, Indonesia has played its significant role. And when it comes to the 10th Our Ocean Conference in Busan, South Korea, that was just held, one of commitments conveyed in the conference is that concerning sustainable marine management through the Blue Economy Program and then marine spatial zoning regulation. Can you explain us how's it going on?
Yeah, this is one of the commitment, one of 6 commitment that is already announced during the Our Ocean Conference. So this is our commitment, how to make sure that all the activities in the oceans, in the coastal areas, this will be planned in ahead. So mean that should be hand in hand together, any kind of activities. So that's why this is important, the roles of marine spatial plannings. So we still have some tasks need to be done. That's why we announced our commitment to finalize that. And hopefully that it will be, all the Indonesian territory will be, has a good mapping and also good planning in terms of doing that. So yeah, this is our commitment for make sure that we will manage our ocean and coastal in sustainable way, and also in with a good planning.
Okay, from blue economy, we move to blue carbon, specifically blue carbon network and database, where Indonesia has been initiating this effort, strengthening collaboration and cooperation in international forums. So how's the collaboration and cooperation that is meant here?
Can you elaborate more? What do you mean by database? Do you mean that the database for secrets?
Yes, formulating blue carbon management policies to guidelines for calculating its value.
Right. Let me see that first. I would like to explain about the blue carbon. Blue carbon is like, this is the terminology we use for the ecosystem that in coastal areas that contribute for, to mitigate or mitigation action for the climate change, as well as for the adaptation. So the blue carbon ecosystem consists such as like mangrove, seagrass, meadow, tidal marsh, and some of that, any kind like now there is ongoing discussions about the seaweed, for example. But this is kind of like the ecosystem that Indonesia contribute for the mangrove, for example, like 70% of the globally. This mangrove seagrass meadow will be 11%. We in Indonesia, especially for the mangrove, I think more advanced compared to the seagrass. So in mangrove and seagrass, we follow the guideline from the IPCC guideline, which is they call the IPCC guideline supplement of IPCC guideline for mangrove and for coastal or wetland ecosystem. So again, in negotiation process or the terminology that we use in IPCC or the UNFCCC, the blue carbon, we use like coastal wetland ecosystem. So the ecosystem that have in wetland, so they can contribute, to prevent the community from disasters and also contribute to reduce the gas emissions. But importantly, they consist of the rich carbon, especially from the below ground or in the soil, like a mangrove or the seagrass, for example. So we have for the mangrove, we have like database. For the seagrass, we are developing right now. The mapping is also in the process. Hopefully, we'll be launching very soon. We targeted. We can, we have complete seagrass mapping in this year. Thank you.
Okay, and Moving on to international efforts to ensure ocean health and wealth that were gaining momentum actually before COVID-19 hits. One of them is a Sustainable Development Goal, or SDG 14, on life below water. But is it true there is setback to realize it? If it is, why and how's the solution?
I can say it's not setback, but we still face some challenges. There are some factors that contribute to some challenges. As for example, that we still have overfishing or fishing. So if you follow our ministry website or our ministry social media, so I guess every week we catch the illegal fishing from neighboring countries. So this is a challenge, I think, and we still have like a marine pollution, for example, and of course the habitat destructions. I cannot say this is not a setback, but the challenges we have to, overcome, and then we need to, how to make sure that we can reduce these challenges. And of course, one of the big challenges, I guess, for the SDG is about the financing. So funding is really important. So that's why if we compare that, how our capacity for financing and compared to the required budget for example, for conserving or managing resources, I think we are far beyond that. So we need enhance the capacity, and also we need to make it awareness to all the stakeholders how to address a kind of life. I think,
well, listeners, seems like we are facing some technical problem here with today's VOI talk, but we keep trying to continue our VOI talk with today's guests, Bapak Hendra, Yusran, Siry, expert staff of Ecology and Ocean of the Indonesian Ministry of Marine and Fisheries. We're talking about Indonesia's role in preserving global ocean sustainability. And while trying to reconnect with today's special guest on our VOI talk, what about enjoying a song? And then we'll be back shortly.
Samudra terbentang khatulistiwa, di situ ku ada bersamamu saudara. Beragam warna kita, suku tak selalu sama. Kau aku Indonesia yang disatukan karena cinta. Karena kita Indonesia, jangan pernah terpecah belah. Walau kita berbeda, walau kita tak sama, tetaplah satu kita, kita Indonesia sesungguhnya.
Thank you for still joining us on today's VOI Talk, talking about Indonesia's role in preserving global ocean sustainability with today's special guest, expert staff of Ecology and Ocean of the Indonesian Ministry of Marine and Fisheries, Bapak Hendra Yusran Siry. Bapak Hendra, thank you for
Thank you.
still joining us. So sorry for the technical inconvenience. So previously, we confirmed that the Sustainable Development Goal, or SDG 14, on life below water doesn't really face a setback, but a challenge instead. Yeah. And you also mentioned before about illegal fishing. And based on data that we have here from Indonesia's National Commission on Stock Assessments in 2017, showing that nearly half of the nation's wild fish stocks were overfished partly due to illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing, leading to an estimated loss of $4 billion annually. So how's the progress of securing Indonesian Ocean to prevent illegal, unregulated, and unreported, or IUU fishing nowadays?
I can respond this by having some examples. So that I would like starting that the ministry is really strongest commitment to reduce the IUU fishing, because this is one of that make our economies worse. And you see that we conduct not only from national, also regional and international wise. We in AU we also report that, and then some country that catch in our water is already get the yellow card from the European Union. So I think we conduct our surveillance, physical surveillance by our ships. So, KKP, our ministry has several, surveillance vessel, and we just like in last year, I think last week in Natuna, the North Natuna Seas, we already catch some illegal fishing, and we have already prevent the loss of our economic point of view. I think it's more than like $1 billion, so for example, right now. And we strengthen our monitoring, control, and surveillance, M.Sc Indonesia. And in our ministry, we have the common centers, so we can track the vessel that catch in our territory. So this is important. So we apply the regulation. All the ship above the 30 gross tonnage should be equipped by the vessel monitoring system. This is how we monitor the ship. It's not only for the government, but for the owner, there's benefit, so they can track the vessel. So and then the VMS, we track that. And if there is anomaly action, such as like they switch off the VMS, we can track them, and we can by machine learning or by our analysis, we can predict whether this can be transshipment or can be like illegal fishing or enter in conservation areas. So we strengthen our monitoring system. And Indonesia, also in the ministry, we also host the secretariat, what we call this National Plan of Action Against IUU Fishing, Regional Plan of Action Promote Responsible Fishing Practice, including combating IUU fishing, RPOA IUU. The secretariat in our DG of surveillance, and we also working together with our neighboring countries through the mechanism what we call the CTICF, Triangle Initiative for Cooperative Fisheries and Food Security. And we have also, of course, in regulatory, we have already, promote the what we call this fisheries fish quota management. This is like we try to balance, normally the area that contain resources cannot get the economic benefit. That's why we force the system should be they have to be landed in the area that have resources. So give like economic trickle down effect to the area. So this is very important. And we conduct the international cooperation for such as like the countries, and then we have already apply what we call this port state measures. This is the FAO system, and we also promote the community involvement through Pokwasmas, kelompok pengawas masyarakat. This is a community surveillance system, and of course we try to part of them against transnational criminal networks. And I guess IAU is already, labeling as a transnational crime. So that's why we committed to reduce that. So I think I would like to highlight this into this. We don't want to go to the controversial vessel fishing policies right now. So because we try to, if there are some illegal fishing, for example, so we try to maximize the vessel that we catch for example, for education, for universities, for example, for the communities that can be benefit more instead of to sinking and then will be, not really really good for the environment as well. Yeah. Back to you.
Okay. And now, back in February 2024, we're talking about a project identification mission mark the commencement of Indonesia Coral Bond Initiative, which focuses on national and provincial marine protected areas in Raja Ampat and Alor, and also Savu Sea. Is the project still going? And what have been achieved through this program, Pak Hendra?
Yes, in fact, we are not starting yet. We are in the process for negotiating with the World Bank. So this is the first. Let me, if you may allow that, let me share that my. You cannot see that my screen, right? So,
yes, we can see it.
Yeah, this is the way we do it because protecting coral reef in Indonesia is projected like 37 billion economic benefit by. This is a study from the UNEP. So that's why Indonesia is launching the Indonesia Coral Bonds. So this innovative financings. This is the non-loan or non-debt instruments, and this is a non-sovereign bond. Means that we don't have any obligation to return back how to attract the fund for this bond. That's why we collaborate with the World Bank, IUCN, BNP Paribas, the banking, and also GF. In Indonesia, we work together with Bappenas, closely together with Bappenas, and also Indonesia Environmental Health Fund. So Indonesia Coral Bond, hopefully, actually, this is like 5 years, but as big slightly is still in the negotiation process. But again, they can be like outcome-based financing instrument that's linked with a specific target. And also will be issued by the World Bank, and the principle, because World Bank has in terms of the capital market, World Bank is a AAA balance sheet, means that a very reputable institution to issue the bonds, and this will provide funding to the marine protected areas, and that it will be funding provided by investor and then occupiers, and we're using the MPA IUCN Green List as one of our examples. So, yeah, this is you mentioned about our target specific. There will be 3 MPA in Raja Ampat, because Raja Ampat consists of our national marine protected areas and also local protected area, and also I want to share, and then signing the agreement very soon. We are on the last stage of the finalization of our agreement with the World Bank. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the detailed elaboration. Wish I could dig deeper, but now we move to another important issue, which is marine plastic debris, in which the government of Indonesia has committed to reducing 70% of Indonesia's marine plastic debris by 2025 and to become a plastic solution free by 2040. So how is it going on, the achievement so far, and who are involved in this effort?
I think previously we the ministry part of what we call this national plan of action for reducing marine pollution, marine plastic to the sea, and now with the new structures of the government, so that will be coordinated by coordinating Ministry of Food Affairs, and we have already discussions and also regulation meeting. We coordinating meeting, for example. And we have a target that I think one of the big problem for the marine plastic or marine pollution is coming from the upstream. So we need to tackle the upstreams. How we reduce and how we recycle, and then how can we reuse that. And then also the important things is like how to make sure that we separate. Separation is the key step, the key important step to reduce and to minimize the garbage. So because you can find all the thing in the seas. So the sea is not a big garbage bin, but we need to reduce that by having good practice and then good behavior. So separate which one will be like the organic waste and also unorganic waste, and can be or unorganic waste will be like can be recycled, can be reused and usable, and also can be we can promote it. And we also promote what we call this circular economy to do that. In Indonesia, of course, our ministry, we work together with the fishermen because one of our blue economy policy is how to minimize the plastic waste. So this is kind of like the activities that we go together with the fishermen, and we conduct, what they call the seaman, love seaman, so bulan cinta laut. So the idea is like we don't want the numbers not increase, but we want to reduce that by having like since beginning. Now in our fishing port, we also apply each fishing vessel should be listed their plastic or content plastic material before fishing, and then have to report back to the fishing port after the fishing. So if their plastic is not will be traced back to the sea, there will be some punishment later on to the fishing vessel. So yes, so this is kind of like how we our strategy to reduce plastic for especially from the activities that related to the marine and fisheries. Thank you.
Okay, hope the strategies are running well so far and meet the target. Okay, Pak Hendra, final statement, please, that you would like to convey to our listeners, our Indonesian and international listeners, about Indonesia's role in preserving global ocean sustainability, and how can people contribute to preserve global ocean sustainability. Right.
First, I would like to mention here, Indonesia is a big countries. We 1,504 islands, and we are the second longest, coastline in the world. And our marine resources contribute to regulated, the world climates. So this is how the importance of Indonesian marine and coastal. That's why Indonesia is like for mangrove, for example, we contribute almost 1/5 of our mangrove, and also seagrass, like 1/10 of our the contribution to our seagrass. So this is to show that the importance of Indonesia coastal areas, especially and for the future of the ocean. So if we if we don't guard the oceans, the ocean will be sacrificed, will be degraded, and if the ocean degraded, that means that the world will be degraded as well. So let's work together for guarding the oceans, because the ocean is like all the resources coming from the oceans. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pak Hendra, Yusran, Siry, expert staff of Ecology and Ocean of the Indonesian Ministry of Marine and Fisheries. Let's keep going hand in hand to preserve global ocean sustainability. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Well, listeners, that's today's VOI talk on Indonesia's role in preserving global ocean and sustainability. Hope it gives you more insights and information about Indonesia's role and about global ocean sustainability itself. Joining us in another interesting and insightful talks on VOI Talk from Voice of Indonesia, from Indonesia to the world.
Voice of Indonesia, the overseas service of Radio Republic Indonesia, broadcast in 9 language services: English, French, German, Dutch, Spanish, Arabic, Mandarin, Japanese, and Indonesian. Voice of Indonesia is broadcast via shortwave 3325 kHz and 4755 kHz, and via streaming on voinews.id and RRI Digital on mobile application. We present various programs for you: Diplomatic Forum, The Session, Indonesian Wonder, Miscellany, Let's Speak Bahasa Indonesia, Indonesian pop and regional songs, international musical entertainment, as well as news and information about Indonesia and abroad. Voice of Indonesia, from Indonesia to the world.